George Soros and Jeffrey Epstein have been two of the worst modern-day humans on planet Earth. He uses his billions of dollars to shift power and ideologies. He will donate to politically left politicians. Then he will get behind an even more progressive and even more left politician. By doing this, he artificially shifts the politics left. Have you ever wondered in how such a short amount of time the world can be drowning in such liberal lefty insanity? It's men like George Soros who shift it that way. This man is evil and he needs to be stopped. Now, I'm not going to pretend that Republicans in the past haven't threatened to subpoena George Soros, because they have. They've done this numerous times. But breaking news within the last 24 hours is that Democrats are actually putting their brakes on subpoenas against Republicans in the Supreme Court ethics probe because the GOP wants to do the same for liberals. But I think we need to get a little bit more specific than that, because this Washington Times headline is not telling us everything. This, posted on X by Leading Report: breaking, Democrats abruptly ended the investigation of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. That's right, the issue at hand was investigating Clarence Thomas. And why? After Republicans brought up a counter subpoena suggestion of radical leftist megadonor George Soros and his son Alex. Don't you find it strange that Democrats all of a sudden put the brakes on investigating Clarence Thomas the moment that Republicans said, you know what, we're going to go forward with a subpoena on George Soros and his son? The fact that Democrats immediately halted what they were going to do tells me that Republicans must go forward with the subpoena of George Soros. Clearly, they're trying to hide something. Obviously, they know that this man is involved in corrupt, collusive, fraudulent activity, and he is an enemy to traditional American Christian values and has funneled billions of dollars to politicians, entities, and banks that are looking to tear down those values and institute their own evil humanist view on this world. Something obviously smells wrong here, and I hope that Republicans continue to pursue this matter. Also, Senator Marsha Blackburn is now issuing subpoenas for Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs.
And since we're in the business of issuing subpoenas now, here are a few more that I've filed. A subpoena to Jeffrey Epstein's estate to provide the flight logs for his private plane. Given the numerous allegations of human trafficking and sexual abuse surrounding Mr. Epstein, I think it is very important that we identify everybody that was on that plane and how many trips they took on that plane and the destinations to which they arrived.
Well, this lady better be careful. Going after people like this is risky business. But I will say this: I am not going to hold my breath as if somehow Republicans issuing subpoenas against people like George Soros and Jeffrey Epstein is actually going to go anywhere. I highly doubt that anything is going to be done, because these people and those flight logs are highly protected, and the individuals that are actually on those flight logs are highly protected. I know that there's supposed leaks that are funneling around the internet right now of the true and real flight logs that have been released, but you have to understand it is very easy to fake these things. But there are real flight logs out there. There are really politicians, individuals, powerful people who were on those trips to that island, and we know what was going on there. It is not a secret anymore. Everyone knows. So if people are on those flight logs going to that island, not once, twice, multiple times, what are they doing? What do they know? What were they involved in? And how many of them are still in power right now? There is no way that they're ever going to give up that information. So again, I'm not holding my breath for this, but I do find it interesting that Republicans are now at least issuing these subpoenas and these investigations into these people. And it actually stopped the Democrats from doing the same to Republicans, which is honestly kind of crazy that they halted it over this. But you know, nothing's going to happen with this. But I thought it was interesting. Figured I'd share it with you. What are your comments on this? Leave it below. I'll catch you on the next one.